Good morning, YouTube. How are you doing? My name is Sam. I'm welcoming you to Gameweek 6 review. Hoping that you guys had a wonderful week. Mine was not that bad. Most of the players that I had banked on came through. Some didn't, but that is part of the game. And I'm hoping that you're going to have a lovely time together. I'm going to be a bit brief. I don't want to take much of the time because this is just a recap. So as we are starting, what you have on the screen is how I went into game week 6 with. You can see I had Captain Sterling. For some reason, I never got the news that Sterling was a doubt, because now I'm hearing from everyone that it was all over Twitter. For some reason, I never got that memo. But I think if I knew, my vice captain would not have gone to Mane. That I'm sure. Maybe De Bruyne or Silva, and it would have been a better week than what I had. But then I'm not complaining that much. I went in with Dean. Again, he blanked. I went with Wan-Bissaka. I knew that clean sheet was not going to come like it did with the Leicester City. So in terms of the bankers, because we had chosen the games to bank on, we had gone with Southampton, Bournemouth. It ended 1-3. Bournemouth won 3-1. And the Wilson owners can agree with me that that was a good pick. Then Burnley, Norwich, it ended 2-0. Again, we thought Barnes would do something. You would think in the 2 goals we would get something from him. But I think that one went to Woods. Norwich, Pukki also blanked. Everyone talked of no Pukki, no party. So I think we didn't have a party in that game. Man City versus Watford, that was a massacre. An 8-0 trapping and no Sterling. Even right now I'm thinking what would have happened if Sterling was in that game. I think you'd have backed double figures. Newcastle Brighton, I was spot on. My pick was that game was to end 0-0, and the reason why we are banking on it is because most of us have defenders from both teams, or even the goalkeepers. So that was a good pick. For Crystal Palace versus Wolves, this one was a no-no. We failed in that because, as you can see, it went to 1-1. I think Wolves got their goal in the 91st minute. Also gutted about it. West Ham versus Manchester United. Manchester United failing this season is no-brainer. And I believe very few are surprised by that result of 2-0 win for Pellegrini. Arsenal versus Aston Villa. That was also another goal fest. 3-2. A good comeback for Arsenal. I don't know how many people appreciate what Aubameyang did by giving Pepe that penalty. Game-wise, that's okay. But then FPL-wise, I would have been gutted if I was an owner. The games that you are keeping away from, again, we had Southampton versus Bournemouth, because I never expected a clean sheet from that game. So if you are having defenders from those teams, that's why you would be keeping off such a game. Leicester versus Spurs, a 2-1 win for Leicester. Again, Son came through with an assist for Kane. A good goal he scored. But for an 11 million player, that is Kane, I think most of us are expecting more from him than what he's offering. Everton versus Sheffield, again another 2 goals conceded. That's why we are keeping off it. Those people who are looking at Dean or even Baines, that was a bad outing. And you're also keeping away from the game of the week, and that is Chelsea versus Liverpool. Liverpool won 2-1. Salah and Mane blanked again. And now I'm getting worried because now I don't know who to bank on. But then again, anyway, that's part of life. Also, Abraham had no choice, had no chance, had no major contribution in that game. I think Virgil van Dijk being there, that's something that we expect, and that's why we are keeping away from that game. So I can say from our picks, I cannot complain much because I was spot on in most of those predictions. So in terms of my score for the week, I had 69 points. I didn't make any transfer. I was a bit lucky. I'll be very honest with you, because some of those points I got them from the bench. Fine, I had a good bench to go to, which most people don't have. But I also look at it in terms of that was a lucky break for me, considering how my week has been. Again, now this is 3 game weeks in a row where my captain has failed me. I think in all 3 I've gone with Sterling. In our preview for game week 7, we'll go into details on who we are going with for this week. But even with him not playing and then having Mane as the vice really did not help me in any way. So many people had the vice captain De Bruyne, and 17 points was a good return from him, considering that he's a fallback captain. I think I want to congratulate every one of you. Silva at least wiped my tears away with good 11 points. But with the rotation that Pep is now starting to adopt, now that the Champions League is back and the other competition, the Carabao Cup, I'm worried about the Man City assets. And sometimes I think for Sterling it was forgivable, because every time Sterling is benched, rarely does he come in. I don't know whether you guys have noted the same, but I've been keen on that Pep, if Pep does not start Sterling, rarely will he bring him on the game. In fact, I was very happy when the goals kept coming in, because it meant that they did not need Sterling in that game. Bissaka and Dean gave me only 1 point. Landstrom, God bless you wherever you are, 12 points from the bench. Man, that was unbelievable. I don't know whether now I'm tempted to play him in the next game. It might be a bit difficult for him. But again, I want to appreciate the contribution he has done for my team, considering his price. All my strikers did nothing. Barnes, Pookie, and Abraham. At least I expected that from Abraham. But for Barnes and Pookie playing against one another, I thought that there would be some fight. So in terms of the global leagues, you can see it was all green arrows for me for once. Last week it was the opposite. I think we need also to remember one thing, that the competition is so stiff early on in the game. Most of us are tied on points, and that means as a reduction of only 4 points from your team will make you see some downward arrows there. So don't be alarmed. It's early days. All that I'll ask you is to keep in touch with the front pack. Don't be left behind too much, because you'll end up making some moves for differentials, and to me that is part of the failure, or that is the route to failure. If you try to pick differentials, it's too early for that. So again, like I've said, 69 points was not a bad score for me. I want to review 2 teams who are my competitors. They are my fellow Kenyans. And the first one, he's just starting out. He started last season. That is Hassan. He started last season, and I can say that he's doing very well, and he's growing in terms of his team. And I would want now. And then the other one is Elias. Elias we have been competing with one another for the last around 7 years. At the start, he was very commanding. Then for some reason, his team plummeted, and then he started making some mistakes. So allow me to view Hassan's team. He had 68. He took a 4 points hit. That means I beat him with 5 points. But from his overall rank, he's doing very well. Actually, he's ahead of me in terms of the game weeks, or in terms of the score. So he also had Landstrom, the 12 points he got there. He has double Liverpool midfield, very rare. He has both Mane and Salah. And then he also has De Bruyne and Aguero from Man City. So most of his weeks are banked on the two teams, and who can blame him? They are the only two teams who seem serious in this. So again, he had Pope. Pope came in with good points for him. If you look at his overall rank, he's a Chelsea fan. You can see that in our country he is number 754. And that's quite a milestone. He has maintained his overall rank because game week 1 he was position 108, and overall right now he's still in the same position by 1 point, by one position. So that's quite commendable for him. And we also have to remember that he's a starter, so I will not be hard on him, but I'm keenly watching his team to see how he's growing. The second team is Elias' team, the Wamlambez. That's what he calls his team. Again, we were tied on points, but he took a 4 points hit. And that means even in this week, I've beaten him with 4 points. He's having an indifferent season so far, but you look at his team, it's quite scary. You look at that front pack of Aguero, Vardy, and Abraham, especially considering the games that are upcoming. Again, I was lucky that he never ripped from the 12 points from Randstrom that are in his bench. Because if he banked that one, then we'll be looking at more than 80 points for him, and I know he's gutted about it. He has a good defense, Ake and TAA, Alexander-Arnold, and where I was surprised is when he went with Adrian instead of Pope in his goalkeeping. But then some of these things happen. So guys, I do not want to take so much time in the review, but that's how we did. I can say once again that I enjoyed it and I had a good time, and I'm hoping for the best. Do me a favor, click on the subscribe button, and also like the recording, like the video, share with your friends. In a few hours I'll be uploading the game week 7 preview, so that we can see what we'll be going with. But for now, it's goodbye for me. I'm wishing you a very good day, blessed one, full of fun. Always enjoy that. The most important thing in life is you to enjoy, and you not to stick to the things that are disturbing you so much. Just stick to the happy things in life. Life is too short to keep mourning. God bless you so much. See you next time.